Hello everyone, this is part 16 of What If Naruto was in the 7 Ninja Swordsman, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist. To see more, comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. The bright morning rays were intruding through the windows of the hotel as Naruto strolled down the stairs. When he reached the ground floor, he was pleased to find the 7 ninja swordsmen standing ready alongside the entire 501st. There were bright smiles on quite a few faces after a full day's rest. More than that, he saw hope in many eyes. His people truly wanted this alliance between their villages, as nearly 30 of their comrades had given their lives to see it through. It was those men and women that had kept him up at night. He had lost his wife due to Konoha, knowing she would still want him to forge an alliance between their villages. But he just couldn't forgive the Leaf for what they did to her and to him with all their lies. But did that give him the right to drag Kirigakure in his personal vendetta and altered viewpoint towards the world? Naruto, you do remember the nations we truly serve. Ino's fateful words from long ago came back to haunt him as he realized how attached he was becoming towards Kirigakure and its people. But now he didn't even want to serve Azu, or at least its current leadership, after what they did to Kushina despite everything she and him had done for the village. The turmoil in his heart grew more stronger until he felt a hand being placed on his shoulder. "General, are you all right?" asked Haku with genuine concern in her eyes. He looked at the younger girl and saw quite a few people shared her feelings as they looked at his pale face. Did he truly have the right to use such impeccable faith of these people in him for his personal goals? If yes, then what was the difference between people like Danzo, Hiruzen, Tobirama, the Azuki, and him? A world of peace. A world of truth. A new strength and determination flew through him as he remembered the promise he had made over his wife and child's grave and what his goal would achieve for the entire world. He had tried the noble and honorable approach to bring peace but had failed miserably. He had tried to fight for his nation and even Kiri and Konoha to an extent but had failed time and again. Now it was time to do whatever necessary for the sake of his dreams. It was time he truly listened to his own heart, even if it meant becoming the devil he once hated. Absolutely. It's just too sunny here. I'm used to Kiri's miserable damp weather, replied Naruto with a teasing smile. Haku smiled at his remark, earning amused chuckles from the remaining 7 ninja swordsmen and the 501st fighters as well. With a reassuring nod, Naruto walked towards the exit, making the others join his side. From the corner of his eyes, he gave them all an apologetic look. "You can hate me all you want later, or perhaps you will be able to understand my feelings once I create a new and peaceful world, a place where people can truly feel each other's hearts. Either way, I must walk on this path until the very end." With that determination burning within himself, he met the escorts sent by the Hokage at the hotel entrances, and together the entire group then made their way towards the Hokage Tower to complete what they had came here to do. Hokage Tower. Hiruzen Sarutobi held back a flinch as he watched the Kiri delegation led by Naruto Namikaze enter his hall. He felt uncomfortable when the man's gaze met his own before he silently gestured his people to take their seats first, and only after they were seated he took his own at the opposite end from Hiruzen. An action that didn't go unnoticed by Tobirama, Mito, Danzo, Lord Hyuga, Lord Shin-Nara and few other ninja clan representatives who were going to participate in these negotiations, since most clan heads were currently on the front lines. "It's an honor that you joined us, General Namikaze," began Hiruzen politely. "It was our Mizukage's wish," answered Naruto calmly, making Tobirama flinch when he saw the way in which Mangetsu and the other 7 ninja swordsmen swelled with pride. The cold look present in his son's eyes as he looked at the Konoha delegation made it absolutely clear that Tobirama's dream of someday making his son a part of the Leaf, the dream that he and his brother Hashirama had worked so hard to develop, would remain just a dream. "Then what does Lord's second wish for us to become?" "We would be honored if you could share his wish," said Lady Mito diplomatically. Naruto looked at Mangetsu and gave an encouraging nod, making the younger boy pale and look at him in shock. "Nobody knows his heart better than you do," whispered the Kiri general, earning a thankful smile from the Hozuki clan heir. "A better future for both of our people," answered Mangetsu confidently, as he looked at the members of the Konoha delegation led by the Hokage. We wish for the same as well, Lord Mangetsu, replied Hiruzen with an honest smile. Tell me, what do you want to accomplish if we win this war, Hokage? We know what our Mizukage wants and 30 of my men for that, but they would still like to know your answer as well, said Naruto seriously, as he remembered the men who fell at Nagi Island protecting Tobirama. Before Hiruzen could say something, he was beaten by somebody else. Self-S is a shinobi's duty. To follow their leader's command is the shinobi law. The death of your men was a painful yet necessary cost for this alliance, General. Hope you understand that, said Danzo frankly. He received sharp warning glances from Tobirama, Mito, Hiruzen and quite a few clan representatives as the Kiri delegation bristled in anger, especially Mangetsu and Haku. On the other hand, there was a sad yet knowing smile on Naruto's face as he looked at the younger boy. They were people, boy. Men and women who had hopes, dreams and families. You insulted my fallen shinobi and have the audacity to talk about self-S. Lord Hokage, one of the first conditions for any further negotiations will be the removal of this disgusting child from this room, said Naruto fiercely. You dare, roared Danzo furiously, making Koharu and Homura come to his side in his defense. The trio took a step back when Naruto's S-Red KNG intent crashing down upon them. They were brought to their knees as the 7 ninja swordsmen unleashed their own power and targeted it all over them instantly. Be thankful I am not taking your head, warned Naruto icily, evident in his eyes. You three, get out of this room right now, ordered Tobirama swiftly, his furious glare making his 3 students tremble a bit more with Mito's disappointed gaze making them lower their heads in shame. When Hiruzen also nodded his consent, Naruto gestured his comrades to stand down as he did the same. Danzo hesitantly got back on his feet and supported his 2 friends in doing the same. As he silently walked towards the exit of the hall, his gaze connected back to the Kiri general, making a cold shiver pass through his very soul when he saw the sheer hatred present in those red eyes for him. I am terribly sorry for the entire ordeal, said Hiruzen sincerely once Danzo and his 2 supporters were gone, earning a sigh from Mangetsu. Lord Hokage, you are asking us to forge an alliance with you. Something which will make 3 great villages our enemies. It will never succeed if we even lack the basic respect that we need to show towards our fallen, chastised Mangetsu disappointedly. The odds are impossible as it is. Even if we somehow win this war and defeat Iwa, Suna and Kumo, it won't be long before another war starts among our 2 nations if we do not respect each other and manage our differences, which will again fan the flames of conflict, warned Haku. Enough. The Kiri delegation backed off at Naruto's command as the blonde lit a smoke before glancing directly at the Hokage. Name your terms and I shall name ours, declared the blonde. Hiruzen glanced at his sensei and various clan representatives before glancing back at Naruto to make the proposal. We wish to form a military alliance with the Land of Water to win this war and even beyond that. The Fire Daimyo is willing to share the spoils equally between our factions as well as providing a war bounty of 100 million ryo for your support. We shall also formulate a free trade agreement between our nations at a later date after due negotiations from both sides, said Hiruzen respectfully, with a hopeful smile clearly present on his face. He frowned when Naruto took a puff of smoke while glancing at him with the most disinterested gaze. Tempting, but not enough, answered Naruto coldly. It's a generous offer, General Namikaze. It's in the interest of both our nations, implored Tobirama, earning a harsh glare from the blonde. Bring up the war map, commanded Naruto. Hiruzen frowned but nodded at one of his aides who brought up a large-scale map of the entire ninja world in the center of the room, drawing everyone's attention to it. What do you seek from this war, Lord Hokage? Asked Naruto seriously. An early victory in our favor with as few losses as possible, replied Hiruzen firmly. And how do you wish to achieve that? Questioned the blonde once again. Through key military victories, thereby destroying the ability of Kumo, Iwa and Suna to continue this war. With Kiri's aid, we can increase their losses and threaten their lands, which should bring them to the negotiation table sooner or later. If not, we continue to inflict more losses until they do so. A humorous chuckle escaped from Naruto's lips, much to the surprise of everyone in the room, including his own comrades. How naive. All it would lead to is a temporary peace before we find ourselves in another war once those nations rebuild their strength. Have you learned nothing from history? A similar pact was signed barely 10 years ago, ending the first great ninja war. Look how long that lasted. Chastised Naruto. Then what do you truly wish for, General? Asked Tobirama carefully, a part of his heart greatly disturbed when he saw the sheer ambition in those once familiar eyes. Dark ash-like chakra rose from Naruto's arm and flew towards the world map. At first, it settled over the land of water, marking it in complete darkness. Soon, the wave of darkness crossed the ocean and took over the land of lightning. Hiruzen's eyes widened in disbelief when the ash continued marching forward relentlessly. Mito was horrified when the ash took over the hidden frost village, then the hidden waterfall village, and even consumed the hidden grass village. All minor villages gone in the blink of an eye. Tobirama felt a cold shiver run through his very soul when the ash stopped finally after consuming the land of earth and the hidden stone village in it. General, that's more than half of the world, whispered Hiruzen in horror. You can keep the land of wind, land of rivers, land of waves and land of rain under your rule once we win. The rest shall belong to us, declared Naruto unflinchingly. He was not surprised when it caused an instant outrage among the Leaf delegation, with various clan representatives and their supporters voicing their protests. He looked to his side when Mangetsu tapped his leg urgently. General, warned the Mizukage's son. What? You want to align our village with a nation that lacks the will to win this war and whose leaders are so naive and disrespectful towards Kiri's ambitions? Grow up, for this world is a cruel place, chastised Naruto harshly. He's right, Mangetsu. If they can't even respect our fallen shinobi who is protecting their Hokage, what makes you think they won't sell us out to save their own skin? Questioned Zabuza with a disappointed glare. There is a reason as to why Lord Genjutsu chose the general to lead these negotiations. Are you prepared to risk our village's future just to have the moral high ground? I thought you were smarter than that, rebuked Kisame. We are with the general on this one, Mangetsu Hozuki, stated Jinpachi icily, earning a firm nod from Amayuri as well. The Hozuki clan heir looked to his lone childhood friend and was quite shocked when Haku looked away. I trust the general to do what's right for our village. So did your father, implored Haku gently. Mangetsu clenched his fist bitterly as he found himself completely outvoted by his own squad. The fact that not a single one of them backed his desire to follow a restrained and peaceful approach made him glare harder at Naruto, who looked back at him unflinchingly. You think you can really win over them all? Their forces outnumber ours, yelled one of the Leaf Ninja clan representatives furiously. The same could be said for the shinobi system. Hashirama Senju was the one who created this system with his dream and will, even when the entire world mocked and didn't believe him. He united Senju and Uchiha, defeated Madara Uchiha and tamed all tailed beasts. With such example among your own ranks, said Naruto, but was see off when Lord Hyuga raised a pointed finger at him. But you're not Hashirama Senju, General. Tobirama hid back a flinch when Naruto smiled coldly at the noble clan head. If only his people could be told the truth. Not only was Naruto the nephew of Hashirama Senju, he also held the B of the Uchiha and Namikaze clans in him as well. A special forces commander who had single-handedly killed a tailed beast and won numerous battles, his powers were unique, something which even the likes of Madara Uchiha could not ignore or deny. He had been at war longer than anyone in this room except Tobirama himself. Your eyes have changed, Naruto, thought Tobirama sadly. As he looked at his son, he saw the new pattern of his eyes and realized what had happened. Gone were the hopes and dreams, leaving behind a tale of only devastation and pain. The gaze that was once filled with warmth now only held an unrelenting hatred and an unsettling ambition. It was the same gaze he had once seen in Madara's eyes all those years ago. He could not afford to create an enemy out of his own son more than he already had, and especially not with the amount of influence he held in Kirian with its Mizukage. His people just didn't know what catastrophe they would bring upon themselves should they dare to face General Naruto Namikaze in battle. He saw Hiruzen and Mito looking at him earnestly, even as the remaining clan representatives lambasted the Kiri general mercilessly as he just listened with a knowing smile. Go ahead with this, Saru, he whispered, shocking both his student and Mito as well. But sensei, he will betray us. Certainly after we failed to protect you know who, whispered Hiruzen hesitantly. Tobirama, what are you thinking? Questioned Mito calmly. The Senju clan head looked at his son carefully for a few long moments even as the boy calmly continued answering the questions thrown at him by the various clan representatives. Unlike the contempt he had openly shown towards Hiruzen and Danzo, he seemed disinterested even as he talked to other Konoha leaders. He could not feel any hate or malice in the boy's chakra towards these people. More than that, Tobirama himself understood that those three great nations would have to be crushed if there was to be real peace in the future. They had tried negotiation at the end of the previous war and it only stalled the conflict for a few more years. If only Hashirama had not distributed those tailed beasts all those years ago despite Tobirama's protests, they wouldn't be in this situation. Do you really think you can win this war? Asked Tobirama honestly. Yes, answered Naruto unflinchingly. Land of Earth shall be under our rule, said Tobirama in a steely tone. I don't think you understand. It stays with us. Tobirama didn't blink as his gaze bore deep into that of his son who did the same for a few long moments before a disarming smile arrived on his lips. Very well, Lord Second. We shall honor your wish, answered Naruto easily. The concession relaxed most of the Konoha delegation including Hiruzen Sarutobi and Mito Uzumaki. It ended all arguments instantly and while the Kiri delegation didn't look satisfied with it, none of them raised any protest. Tobirama couldn't help but find himself in a dilemma once again. He had been right in not allowing Kirigakure to expand its rule to as far as the Land of Earth which would not only endanger his own nation but also allow the Land of Water to use more resources available at its disposal for any future conflict with the Land of Fire. But the boy had acquiesced too easily, it was as if his eyes widened in surprise when he looked at the world map and understood everything. Supply lines. Land of Water's current resources and manpower would be extremely stretched if they tried to rule as far as the Land of Earth. They would never be able to hold those lands successfully. You wanted us to take up that mantle on our own and stretch our forces to the maximum. You gave us vast lands in the form of Land of Wind and Earth to rule knowing we would always be on our toes to hold those lands alongside minor villages making us not be in a position to launch an attack against your lands for a decade or two or risk starting a two-front war with Kirigakure at the front and any rebel factions from the Land of Wind and Earth in the rear that you'll support. You tricked us, thought Tobirama bitterly. These talks of dividing our territories will be meaningless if we can't defeat our enemies. What is your plan for that? Asked Lord Shin-Nara seriously, as he tried to prevent his faction from falling into a deeper trap set by the Kiri general much to Tobirama's relief. Naruto respectfully nodded at the question as he got up from his seat and walked towards the ninja world map. One of the aides gave him a stick on his request as the Kiri general pointed it at Osaka City which his forces had seen and still controlled till this day in the Land of Lightning. We will send 5,000 more ninja forces to the city making the enemy believe that we will be launching further incursions from here into the Land of Lightning with the intent of splitting their nation in half. To counter that, they'll dispatch reinforcements from Kumogakure and their feudal lord's capital. They will also be forced to pull back their forces engaged near Land of Fire's borders thereby reducing pressure on your forces, explained Naruto in detail. But your men will be surrounded quickly. Without help, they'll be S or C, pointed Hiruzen grimly, earning a nod from Naruto. They are a distraction. While the enemy uses the majority of its military power to stop the immediate threat in its vicinity, I shall take away what is dearest to them, promised Naruto mercilessly. Tobirama's eyes widened when his son pointed directly at Kumogakure and the feudal lord's capital in the Land of Lightning. The 501st, Kirianbu Black Ops, Hunter Corps shall join me as I take the dear village and capital. If we crush their military powerhouse and economic capital while taking important leaders hostage and eliminating those that still resist, their army will lose hope. A 10,000-strong Kiri force shall also land in the northern shores of the Land of Lightning thereby completing their encirclement. They will be forced to surrender, explained Naruto seriously. And if they don't, countered Lord Shin-Nara, only to receive an ice-cold smile in return. Then I'll wipe Kumogakure and their feudal capital from the face of this earth. A stunned silence swept across the entire hall as each person from both factions stared at the Kiri general who met the shocked, repulsed and disbelieving gazes with a determined one of his own. Hiruzen's lips trembled as he remembered reading the report of this same man wiping out half of Osaka with its population in the blink of an eye single-handedly. The same general had also assassinated the Lightning Daimyo mercilessly doing what everyone deemed to be impossible. Tobirama remembered the destroyed corpse of the two tails from 10 years ago, courtesy of his own son. Will you truly go that far? He asked gravely, sadness present in his voice. My hands are already stained with B, Lord Tobirama. A little more wouldn't make me less than what I already am, but will help my village win this war and secure its future, answered Naruto honestly. Do you think Iwa and Suna will not try to intervene? Questioned Lord Shin Nara. Not when most of your shinobi forces are stationed near the border of the Land of Wind and Land of Rain, advised Naruto with a cunning smile. He explained the grand strategy by naming it Operation Thunderbolt. Tobirama, Hiruzen and Mito were the only ones in the entire hall who understand the significance of that name since it was the same mission name in which Azushio Gaku's Spartans fought and 10 years ago. Now their surviving captain was going to revenge them by declaring total war upon most of the ninja world in their name. They watched in silence as Naruto introduced a new strategy that relied more upon speed and quick strikes with specialized ninja units on key enemy targets instead of large army battles in which their side would lose. The operation would begin with Kiri's attack on Kumogakur and the Land of Lightning's capital, with Konoha launching the next phase by attacking the Land of Wind's key targets with all its might while maintaining an illusionary threatening posture near the Land of Earth's borders, keeping them on edge for a few days. Speed and efficiency was everything in this strategy, for if the enemy faction managed to unite their forces to launch a counterattack, they would be crushed. With the fall or surrender of two key allies, the Land of Earth would be surrounded. It would either lay down arms or be annihilated by the combined might of Land of Water and Fire. A victory that would divide the ninja world into two factions instead of numerous major and minor villages. A mad gamble, commented Tobirama, as Naruto finished explaining his plan. Some would say your brother did the same when he dreamed of creating a ninja village by uniting Senju and Uchiha, two bitter enemies, retorted Naruto calmly. Tobirama had no answer against those words and watched as Lord Shin Nara looked at the blonde skeptically. I hate to say it, but conventionally we will never win against those three great villages, so your crazy plan becomes the only choice we have at the moment. My real worry lies with the fact that whether we will be able to hold the lands that we win. And if yes, then what will be the cost? What prevents you from betraying us in the future and taking over the whole world? Questioned Lord Nara seriously. True. The Nara clan head was quite stunned on the blunt admission and cold smile he received from Naruto. What do you mean by that, General Namikaze? Asked Hiruzen worriedly. If you truly doubt your own power or that of your people, then there can be no future for you. Konoha has so many great clans and the economic might of the Land of Fire, yet those three villages did attack you because they truly believe they can win. More than that, they feel they can rule over you, answered Naruto. And you think Kiri and its people can stand up to that power? Countered Lord Shin Nara with a heavy frown. He and the third Hokage clenched their fist when the Kiri general nodded confidently. They looked towards the 7 ninja swordsmen and saw the same determination in their eyes. We respect strength and mutual trust only, Lord Hokage. As long as you have that, there shall be peace between us and we can actually win this war. That is my promise, pledged Naruto. And if we refuse, will you destroy this nation? Asked Lady Mito somberly, with a hint of understanding still present in her eyes as she looked at her nephew. She barely saw a moment of hesitation before he looked back at her resolutely. No, that is not our Mizukage's wish. He wants our nations to be allies. If we can't be that, then it would be unfortunate. We would be fighting our own wars in that event, but we will not be enemies unless you initiate hostilities, reassured Naruto. I understand and am glad for Lord Mizukage's sincerity. But what about you, General Namikaze? What do you truly desire? Questioned Mito seriously. It doesn't matter what I want, we follow our Mizukage's commands, refuted Naruto, but frowned when Mito shook her head vigorously. It matters to me, for you will play a key role in our victory should we become allies. Naruto clenched his fist bitterly on being cornered like that by the Senju matriarch, but softened when he saw the genuine concern for him in her eyes. He could not detect any ill intent in her chakra, which lowered his animosity considerably. His thoughts wandered towards Tsunade and Nawaki, whom he had recently met, his niece and nephew. Something he had never imagined to have after Nagato's demise all those years ago. They had been kind to him, if a little bit hesitant considering they didn't know he was their uncle by B. He hated quite a few people in this village, and yet there were people he didn't want to harm if he could avoid it. Mito and Tobirama included. Most of all, for better or worse, Ino had laid down her life defending Konoha's future. He had to honor her wishes, which included not destroying her nation if it could be avoided. He had been at war for so long that he had forgotten what peace even felt like. I want this to be the final war so that our children don't suffer the loss that we have, he answered somberly, remembering the faces of his parents, his brother, his Spartan comrades, and now his wife and child. A small understanding smile came on Mito's face as she gave him a gentle nod. Few hours later, it was close to sunset as the 7 ninja swordsmen observed the setting rays from the top of the Hokage mountain. It's beautiful, commented Haku honestly. Something truly worth fighting for, agreed Mangetsu, as he saw the full glory of Konoha from the finest location in the village. Naruto remained silent on hearing those words from his comrades, knowing the cost for this beauty's existence lied in a cemetery not far from here. General, do you truly think we can take over half of the world? Asked Mangetsu seriously. We can, answered Naruto without hesitation. But why do we need to go so far? Questioned the boy once again. For you do not leave your enemies alone. There are just too many powers in this world, too many rulers with their own ambitions which will continue igniting more conflicts even if we end this one, confessed Naruto. So you think we can be better than others? Naruto turned towards the boy and saw the others looking at the two of them, which made him smile. Your father will be. I believe in him. Mangetsu's eyes widened in surprise before a faint smile arrived on his lips. You think they'll accept our terms, General? Asked Kisame curiously. Maybe. I wish they do, but the choice has to be their own, for this shall be a fight to the bitter end. The same goes for all of you. The 7 ninja swordsmen saw their leader looking at each of them with an unflinching look in his eyes. Are you prepared to walk the path of carnage with me for the sake of Kirigakura and its future? He asked them. You always ask for the impossible, General. Taking Osaka, the Lightning Daimyo, forging an alliance with Konoha and now conquering half of the world. I like it, agreed Amayuri with a cunning smile. I'll follow you till the gates of hell, General, promised Jinpachi with a cold smile. What's in it for us? Asked Zabuza with a chuckle, earning a nod from Kisame as well. Steel and suffering, my friends. Legends are born that way. Fight by my side and all of Kirigakura alongside every shinobi ever born from this day shall remember Zabuza Momoki and Kisame Hoshigaki, the most fearless swordsmen to ever walk this earth, promised Naruto, as he placed his hands upon their shoulders. He smiled happily when both swordsmen grinned and nodded. Naruto then walked towards the youngest and the last members of his squad, knowing these two had a different heart compared to their older comrades. He approached Haku and Mangetsu, placed his hands upon their shoulders and looked into their eyes. For centuries now shinobi have been used by feudal lords for the personal gains. We have suffered, bled and for their ambitions. Lord Genjutsu sees that and wishes to change it, as do I. To free all shinobi and the people of this world from such rulers and this broken system is my dream. Will you help me achieve that? He asked him earnestly. Till the end, General, promised Haku with a tearful smile. You inherited my father's will, General. I now understand why he chose you, and I shall follow you till the end to fulfill that dream. I'm sorry for questioning you many times, but deep in my heart I know you will always protect our people. We all shall follow you, said Mangetsu with a smile. He was surprised when the general came forward and hugged him fiercely, a gesture which he happily returned. Next day, Naruto stood at the main gate of the Leaf Village, flanked by the 7 ninja swordsmen and the 501st at his back. In front of them was the Hokage alongside Tobirama and Mito. Hiruzen walked towards him and handed him a large scroll. We have discussed the terms and have received consent from the Fire Daimyo as well. Please present this signed treaty to Lord Mizukage. We wish this alliance brings an end to this war and peace for both of our people, announced Hiruzen. We will, Lord Hokage. Once we have presented this to Lord Mizukage and have finalized our plans, we shall send you our messengers so we can hear our attacks together, said Naruto honestly with a respectful nod. Hiruzen nodded and stepped back, watching the 7 ninja swordsmen and the 501st taking off on Naruto's signal. The Kiri general was about to do the same when Tobirama stepped forward and looked at him sadly. I wish you could have stayed, he whispered, earning a bittersweet smile from the blonde. So did she. But that dream with her, answered Naruto somberly. Again, I am sorry for everything that happened. You know, I would give anything to change it if I could, insisted Tobirama. I know, father. I am grateful we met and that you cared for me, but our paths are different, said Naruto with a sad smile. I see that now, agreed Tobirama, as Mito came forward and placed a comforting hand on his back. You are a good leader, father. Your people are lucky to have you by their side once again. With those words and a respectful nod towards Mito, he turned around and started walking away, much to Tobirama's sorrow. Tobirama is a good leader, but Naruto will be simply great, whispered Mito. She watched the boy stop in his tracks and clench his fist bitterly. When he looked back at her, she saw a lone tear slip from his eyes. Thank you, Lady Mito, for showing me the love of a family. I had forgotten that, answered Naruto sincerely. He was surprised when Tobirama came forward and engulfed him in a fierce hug, one which he returned hesitantly at first before fully giving into his heart. I am proud of you, Naruto. But if you ever try to harm this village or its people for any reason, know this: I shall stop you, said Tobirama seriously, earning a wry smile from the blonde. I'll see you on the battlefield, father. It's where I truly belong, replied Naruto, before he vanished in a dark flash. Mito stepped beside the Senju clan head as a lone tear slipped from his eyes. Why did it turn out this way, Mito? He asked her miserably. True greatness comes from loss, Tobirama. I don't know the future, but I believe this boy will someday change the world for better or worse. I can see it in his eyes, she answered him solemnly. Do you truly think he can do all that he promised? Asked Hiruzen hesitantly. He will try. I only pray we do not end up facing each other on the battlefield, answered Tobirama honestly. Few days later, the first sight of the land of water appeared on the horizon, but instead of a smile, it brought a deep frown upon Naruto's face as he flew across the sky with the 7 ninja swordsmen and the 501st at his back. Activating his red eyes and needing chakra fully, he expanded his sensory powers and came to startling conclusion. The 7 ninja swordsmen frowned when they saw the signal to halt given by their general, immediately making the 501st stop in their tracks as well. Together, they hovered a mile away from their homeland's coast as their leaders sailed forward and made a hand sign. Release. To their surprise, their vision distorted as the vast forest on the coast vanished in the blink of an eye. Shock and horror gripped their hearts when they saw the entire coastal forest cover was razed to ashes, and upon it stood an army waiting for them. A tidal wave consisting of thousands of shinobi and warriors alike, all ready for a fight and their weapons raised towards the small Kirigakure force led by the blonde general. Naruto raised an eyebrow in surprise when Lord Hiro Hagoromo stepped forward and glared at him. General Namikaze, on behalf of our feudal lord and the third Mizukage, you are hereby accused of treason against this nation. Surrender and our leaders will show you mercy. Resist and you shall perish alongside all your men right here, warned Lord Hiro sternly. The third Mizukage. As far as I am aware, Lord Genjutsu Hozuki the second Mizukage is my cage. I answer to no one but him, replied Naruto calmly, but deep in his heart he had a feeling as to what must have happened. He has been arrested for treason against our feudal lord. You are accused of following his orders and attacking a dominion under the direct rule of our feudal lord without his consent or knowledge. Lord Genjutsu was wise enough to recognize his treason and surrendered without causing any unwanted b. I suggest you do the same, proclaimed Lord Hiro Hagoromo. Traitors, you shall pay for this, yelled Mangetsu furiously, as he unleashed his sword, making the remaining 7 ninja swordsmen follow suit. Naruto's own K flared as he glared at his comrades and warned them to stay back, an order which was begrudgingly obeyed. But even he could see the desire for B boiling in Mangetsu's eyes and many others, along with the fear in the eyes of many 501st shinobi. He turned towards the noble clan head before glancing at the army at his back. He could see nearly half of the force was made up of Kirigakure shinobi and the rest were warriors from the daimyo's personal armed forces. Warriors of this great nation. He called out to them. A sea of eyes looked up at him and he was relieved to see majority of them looked extremely reluctant to do what was being asked of them. I know all of us swore an oath towards the leadership of this nation. But more than that, we are duty-bound to protect the future of our people. The feudal lord misused that loyalty by allowing pirates to infest our great nation and terrorize our people, all for the sake of his own power and wealth. Majority of the men here serving under the daimyo, all of you hail from small villages across this nation. Places these heathens attacked and terrorized for years. They killed your friends and families, raped your women, pillaged your wealth. Where was the Daimyo then? He asked furiously, making hundreds of feudal warriors flinch and look away in shame. Haku held a crushing grip over Mangetsu's shoulder, thereby preventing the boy from unleashing a deathly carnage over their own people in his righteous fury. The rest of the swordsmen held back the 501st as they watched their general speak to an army that once fought along their side. To the shinobi of Kirigakure. You a loyal shinobi following orders, but there comes a time when a ninja has to answer to his conscience in the face of injustice and tyranny. Listen to your hearts before it's too late, said Naruto fiercely, the memories of his martyred Spartan comrades flashing through his heart. If only he had disobeyed that order from the Azuchage, his men would be alive today. He would have been for treason, but that would have been a far better outcome than leading his own younger brother to his death. He hadn't been strong back then and had paid an unalterable price. It was time to stop following commands of men who didn't deserve to lead. Like you, I swore to defend our great nation against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Lord Hiro Hagoromo took a step back when those menacing red eyes glanced firmly at him for the last part, a subtle action that didn't go unnoticed by many warriors around him. We fought, bled and for this nation. So did the second Mizukage. You know Lord Genjutsu Hozuki is an honorable man. One who has the best interest of this nation and its people in his heart. He was the one who ordered the destruction of Kumogakure, our arch-enemy. He formed an alliance with the Land of Fire for the future of this nation. He ordered the destruction of those pirates that butchered our people. Even when he was betrayed by traitors in his ranks for trying to save this nation from its tyrannical daimyo, he still surrendered peacefully to avoid any unnecessary deaths of his brave ninjas. Is that treason? Asked Naruto furiously, as he held up the scroll containing the alliance treaty between Kiri and Konoha high in the air. That's enough. Kill them all, shouted Lord Hiro, as he unleashed a large shuriken from his back. He barely managed to dodge a kunai launched at him by the Kiri general in return and flinched when the blonde appeared near him in the blink of an eye. He was immediately surrounded from all sides, yet his eyes looked only at the startled clan head. I will not allow senseless be, he announced without hesitation. What? The question echoed across the entire loyalist army, making many lower their weapons at the proclamation. The fact that the 7 ninja swordsmen nor the 501st made any threatening moves only added further credibility to the Kiri general, who stepped forward towards the clan head. Loyal sons and daughters of this nation shall not here for your greed and ambition. I will not allow brothers to kill brothers. I was the one who followed the orders of Lord Second. I was the one who launched the attack on Nagi Island. I am prepared to face the consequences, but you will not lay a finger upon my men, warned Naruto. Then will you surrender? Asked Lord Hiro Hagoromo hopefully. The punishment for treason is death, Lord Hiro. For you I am a traitor and for me you are one. So let's settle this one-on-one. I challenge you to single combat, said Naruto seriously. Nonsense. I will not fall to your tricks, refuted the clan head, earning a cold smile from the blonde who looked at the warriors surrounding them. You call me traitor and yet you are not even brave enough to fight for the lives of your own men, mocked Naruto with a laugh. General, for all your treason nobody can deny you are a powerful ninja. My orders are to arrest or kill you by any means necessary should you disobey. I shall follow those orders, and so shall these men here if they know what's best for their families, ordered Lord Hiro mercilessly. Many weapons were raised again towards the blonde after that threat, who raised a hand to stop the 7 ninja swordsmen and the 501st that were about to launch their own attack. To everyone's surprise, dark chakra wings emerged from Naruto's back as he moved upward in the air but didn't leave the battlefield or launch any attack. His cold and determined red eyes glared at the clan head alongside all those who followed him. I shall not allow our comrades to kill each other, he announced. But you, protested Lord Hiro. Let it be known that General Naruto Namikaze didn't allow you a fair chance to carry out your orders, treasonous as they are. Lord Hiro Hagoromo, I challenge you and all those who chose to follow you in single combat. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.